evening. This is the video newsletter for Buy Sell Short for Tuesday, April 19th. I actually had to adjust the video just a little bit. Some of the things I was going to say, I actually had to revise it just because of the action we're seeing in after-hours trading today. Probably the first time in a long time we've seen all the tech giants reporting an after-hour blow out their numbers and raise guidance. We have Intel, we had IBM, we had VMW, we even had Yahoo beat on their earnings report. Pretty rare occurrence there. Intel, IBM increased their guidance, so it's one thing to beat your number, it's another to raise your guidance. And you remember a couple of weeks ago we had all the analysts coming out downgrading the SMH, downgrading Intel, and lo and behold, yet again, the old saying goes, analysts downgrade bottoms, upgrade tops. What I was originally saying on the first video was on the SMH, we had a nice bottoming action over the last couple of days on the SMH, and that I would feel really comfortable on a break through the 3450 area. Would be very, very bullish in the near term for us. After hours, thanks to the $1.50 pop in Intel, we've got the SMH trading up there at 3480. So just based on the after hours action, tomorrow's session could be a pretty decent one. Now, the last couple of days have been very, very frustrating in the market. A lot of stocks have been pretty much dead, and the only stocks that have been moving have been essentially going straight up with little scalp opportunities, or you've got stocks popping 5 or 10 cents, and then that's it, and the volume doesn't come in, and they fall back. We've tried a few of those plays in the chat room, been, really frustrating to say the least. But, a market like that typically happens before we see either a big up or big down move. And based on the earnings reports we're seeing in after hours, we could be in store for a nice couple of days, especially given that the market is closed on Friday for the Good Friday holiday. Dow 15-minute chart, you can see we've got the 50-day moving average now finally turning higher, and we could see a golden cross on the 15-minute chart maybe tomorrow, definitely by Thursday. Breakout would be 12,325, but if we go off our golden cross, average 150-point gain, if it does indeed occur on Thursday, we could be looking at a test of the highs over the next few days. Checking out the daily chart, you can see after yesterday's steep sell-off, we were able to rebound, and the Dow was able to get back above the 50-day moving average, which is what we wanted to see. Breakout now on the 50-day or on the daily chart is at the 8-day moving average. Let's say 12,300. We'll probably see some shorts come into the market and try and cover their positions. As you can see on the Dow, one thing I really like to see is the stochastics get back above that 50 level, and we're seeing the same thing happen on the SMH. If we scroll down, you can see we got a lot lower. Stochastics will definitely be up over that 50 level over the next day, just given the action we're seeing in Intel. So we're seeing some positive signs here. Not a whole lot of stocks on the Popper scan either. The Pop scan today, quite active actually. We had a lot of movers on the Pop scan over the last couple of days. And, it's been pretty dead, as you can see. Very few email alerts been sent out. If I didn't have you guys, I would have taken the last couple of days off and just sit and wait instead of trying to force some trades, which is what we ended up doing today. We'll get a nice little win, and then we'll get 2 trades that will stop out with small losses or flat entries, just trading to trade. Tomorrow is probably going to be a very different story, and we could be in store for a pretty decent week if the after-hours action is any indication. Yesterday we had MCZ. The stock came out with financing news. Yesterday, probably the worst day that could have happened with traders running for the hills. But the news we had yesterday, like I said, was positive in my opinion. They used the debt to wipe out a convertible debt that they have at $1.42. They sold shares at $1.92. The convertible short is gone. And, even without that financing news yesterday, MCZ would have sold off with the market. Right now, we've got it consolidating around the 50-day moving average. We'll probably see it consolidate for a couple more days before we make another push through the $2 level. This is a medium to long-term play. Dips like this just give us an opportunity to reload our scalp positions. Long-term outlook does not change. And actually, if you read the earnings or the financing news press release yesterday, MCZ has a smart management team in place right now. And like I said before, that is 9/10 of the battle. I've seen so many great companies destroyed by incompetent management. And from what I can see, we've got a smart management team in MCZ, and that is just great for the long-term view. ACAD, nice breakout yesterday. Open today at $1.95, and just in typical ACAD mode, got a fat dip mid-morning all the way back down to $1.76. Scared the crap out of a lot of traders who bought that breakout yesterday. Sort of like we saw a week ago, and they ran for the hills. Lucky enough for us, we held on strong. You know, if it had been a better market, I actually would have probably had us double up on ACAD under $1.80. But, you know, after what happened the last time, sort of sat on our hands, and the stock ended up closing just below its highs. Excellent close on ACAD today. And we actually saw a couple of biotech stocks really take off late in the day. So all eyes on ACAD tomorrow for a possible rule of two play. Would be adding to positions on a break of two with a 210 and 220 target. And adds on that $2 break. Stops would be at $1.92. So looking really, really good for a possible big move on ACAD tomorrow. NVAX, nice pop on this one today. We got a nice opening pop, traded as high as 269, and then ended up, retracing for the rest of the day. We got that article from the fund manager. This is typically how these stocks trade, but the great thing about it is it's giving us lots of scalping opportunities intraday on it. Any dips right now would be looking to add under 255 for scalps back to the 260s. 270 will set this baby free, and we could be seeing a move to $3 possibly this week if this one really gets some more volume and some action with some of the other higher priced biotechs. GIGM, nice possible breakout on this one. We got a nice pop today on this one. Was getting pumped in a couple of places. As I mentioned in the chat room, this is definitely one we'd be looking to add 125 and under. That was before it broke out to new highs. So right now I'd be looking to pick this one up $1.30 and under. And the reason for this one, we've got a couple of reasons. We've got a China social network IPO in 2 weeks. These guys own a Chinese social network IPO. Other than the great chart, you've of course, I'm sure, heard about the shutdown of the poker sites in the U.S. GIGM is actually going to be a major beneficiary of that down the road, because what's going to happen is all these sites that have gotten shut down, like Full Tilt, etc., they will never get a license in the U.S. because they broke the law. GIGM owns a 40% interest in Everlast Poker. They did not allow U.S. Citizens to play on their sites. So this is the kind of poker sites that when the government finally does start to license online poker sites, these are the ones that are going to get the license. But nice chart breakout here. I could see this one trading up to the 200-day moving average over the next couple of weeks. As you can see from its action, this one moves pretty big intraday. So dips, I would be adding fat dips on this one and looking for a possible move to 265 near term. Got a positive MACD cross on this one today. And the last time I got a positive MACD cross, I went on a pretty decent run over the next few days. And we do have stochastics breaking up through the 50 level. So a nice potential setup on this one today. I'm just going to jump in right now. We're going to go over the popper scam plays for tomorrow. Like I said, today's pop list, we had some very nice movers on it. APP continued its breakout move. Could see a move towards that 200-day moving average at 125 tomorrow. So if you're still riding this one, half position, see what happens. Stops at $1. ACAD is on the pop scan. We already went over that one. ANX is on the pop scan, sort of like SNSS, late day SNSS went boom. This one, very, very interesting. Almost got a break through 230. Would be keeping a very close eye on this one tomorrow for a 230 break and a possible run to the 240s, especially if it's able to break that previous high of 236. NVAX, no surprise, is on the pop scan. We already went over that. ZLCS has been on the popper scan for the last few days and has just been on a monster tear. Got another breakthrough, that 272 level. Could see a move to $3 over the next 2 days. If you're playing this one, you got a couple of options. I would, if you haven't booked gains on it yet, possibly a good idea to book half gains or trail your stops to today's low at 268. KNDI on the pop scan last couple of days. Very nice move on this one. Got to break through the 20-day exponential right at the $3 level. Continued action on this one. Could take it up to $3.25 tomorrow. Again, make sure you're taking some gains on these pop scan movers and then, trailing your stops to at least break even. COOL. This has just been an ATM machine over the last several months. Coiling for another breakout here. A break through $4 tomorrow would be a buy trigger, and I'd place my stops probably on that at the 390. It's a volatile intraday mover. If it does break, would definitely be also looking at picking up some MCZ, especially if it's able to break that 4 level. You could be seeing another new test of that 415 level, and then Bob's your uncle after that, and up we go, possibly to 5. One thing to keep in mind with COOL, especially after MCZ, stocks up quite a bit over the last couple of months, and this one would not be surprised to see it pull out some financing. So just keep that in mind, especially if you're trying to swing a large position overnight. Probably want to hedge yourself if you do that. Last but not least, we've got a massive flow player, Citigroup. Although I think this one's got a reverse split coming. Just thought I'd mention it because the financials have been doing pretty well. Might be one you could scalp some size intraday because it's actually, a 5-cent move on size with the volume it does. Some of you guys might be interested in it. So that's it for the video. Could be a nice couple of days coming up in the market. So that's it. I will see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Good night.